Welcome back. Now let's take a look at DevSecOps and how to integrate security within the DevOps world. The definition of DevSecOps really is how do you take security and put it into the DevOps processes? How do you merge the two together and still make sure that you have the security perspective and you have all of the checkpoints that you really need? So when you develop a plan on how to do it, the goal really should be to how can we actually take more ownership of the process. It's not all about automation, but it's also about ownership and accountability and how you can take dev teams take more responsibility. So integrating automation into every step of the process is going to be key also. So one point I'd like to point out here is the distinction between DevSecOps and DevOps. Many times we use interchangeably, right? But there is a distinction. DevSecOps focuses on the whole development lifecycle and security automation, whereas rugged DevOps is more specific to developers and supports developers and testers, right? Make sure they're protected until the release of the product. So we're going to focus more on DevOps or DevSecOps rather. As I said, automation is key to DevSecOps. It's how you're going to be quick and agile and really get away from all of the manual processes. There's a good chance that when you move over to DevSecOps, some of the tools that you actually use for years and years would not work, okay? So even if you can automate the tools, there'll be false positives and won't make them worthwhile into the pipeline. So everything has to happen quickly. So a static really will take hours and hours. It's not gonna work within DevSecOps. And how do we do it? How do we automate? What tools can we use? The automation security tools doesn't mean automate. It really doesn't mean taking all of your dynamic elements and automating it. What really it means, the security, you can actually put something in the script and have it run in the background and have meaningful results for the developers. Not a PDF, not a document, for example, but the actual result for the developers. And these results should be pushed into a tool, right, so that they can actually meaningful use. Maybe open up tickets like in Jira, right? And they can have developers take a look at those tickets because it's meaningful to them. And even taking one step further, one of the best ways that you can enable the development team to have the results in real time is through chat ops, right? So instead of sending them PDFs, send them notification via Slack or other software chat or Teams, okay? So that would help the developers to quickly gain insight on real-time issues. Really, the concept for DevSecOps is to enable developers and other teams as well to get first-hand knowledge in real time. And that really is the goal, to provide them resources and tools to developers and ops teams. The second part is really the education itself. The developers need to be educated on the security element, right? So in the last 15 or 20 years since I've been doing in the IT world, I've seen the same security defects over and over again all the time, right? Maybe SQL injection was a problem 15 years ago. It's still today, right? So helping teams understand the security basics really helps to speed up the actual development processes and also make it more efficient as time passes, right? Ensure that they have the resources that they need to be able to fix any defects, right away. The idea here isn't that the security is not going to play a part, but the idea here is that it's going to give them information that they actually need through training, through education, right? Through courses, maybe certifications, so that they can fix when time comes. And all of DevOps, the key to DevSecOps is to really let developers own their own security for their code. So the last point really here is that we need to empower the dev team. Give them the tools, let them, work with the tools, let them hold accountable, let them put it in the pipeline the way they want to. Maybe Jenkins build, for example, the way they want to build it. Maybe they want to use their own IDEs, integrated development environments, for coding purposes. So they should be responsible for security of the app and the code itself. The goal really is to, flip the security team as being an auditor and not a tester. So the security team needs to do its job and developers need to own the actual security elements for the entire application. So you see the role of security with DevSecOps, which is Dev developers, security, and then the operations. So it's not just doing penetration testing where, the security team would come in and they would take, all of the code to their domain and they will run the tests and whatnot. They could do so, and that's what enterprise companies are actually also doing or implementing. But really, automating the processes and empowering developers is really the key to DevSecOps. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, post in the discussion area. With this, let's move to the next lesson.